Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Kim Circle podcast. Jessa Francis here. I am so excited to be here today because I have a guest, my beautiful friend, someone that has already just lit up my life in so many ways, not just because I have this incredible friend, but someone that also is, she's a mentor, she's a guide, she's a guiding light, and she and I have been working together in a couple different ways, specifically in the alcohol-free beverage industry. I started up Intoxicated, the alcohol-free beverage consultancy, and I've been working with Anahata because she just started up her very own bottle shop, Plant Magic Bottle Shop in DC. It is in Union Market. I got to spend some time with her during the Mindful Drinking Fest and helped her merchandise the shelves, helped her curate the selection, and it's been such a wonderful experience. Over the past couple years, working with her, growing with her, and kind of moving forward. And so that's what we're a little bit about what we're going to talk about today is just the why behind all of this. What it is that we're doing, what our goals are, why we are so passionate about it, because trust me, we are so passionate about this. So welcome to the Kim Circle, Anahata. Let's both just for a moment, let's take a big deep inhale in and exhale it out. This is a space of sanctuary, a place of joy, but also we want to have that soothe, calm nervous system. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. This is such an honor to be with you as one of the people that has been a significant part of my awakening journey, right? Because when we talk about awakening, it's not like you get a Harvard diploma and you get the piece of paper and you're awake or like you're enlightened. It's an everyday process of overcoming, unlearning, getting connected to source. It's not a degree that we get. It's oh, I'm enlightened now. It's a process. And many parts of my process, my journey have been this waking up and you creating Intoxicated and enlightening me, a person who hasn't been drinking for 8 years, a person that's in the wellness space, about some of the more not clean elements to the non-alc beverage industry has been super enlightening for me and really the driving force for my shop and being able to help people here in Washington, D.C., which has at the moment in time that we're speaking is like the ground zero of, power and the matrix and everything that's happening in the world, right? So very important to be here in Washington, D.C. at this moment in time as an opportunity to help people wake up themselves and an opportunity to be in the wellness space and really heal themselves.
Oh, yes, 100%. Yeah. So when I first met you, you were doing a lot of just coaching, mentoring, specifically with conscious parenting, helping other female entrepreneurs with the high vibe women. And that was so inspiring for me because I was really wanting to get more into holistic health. And I had been working more on the actual product side of the alcohol free business. And I, was able to come to you, who you had been sober for a while, you had been in this space for a while. But a lot of the education that I had been siphoning into my world because I wanted to be able to educate on the products. I was able to shed a lot of clarity around, just because you're not out drinking alcohol doesn't mean you're healthy. Just because you are a vegan doesn't mean you're healthy. You know what I mean? Like those kinds of things. We need to think about nutrition. We need to think about the products that we're ingesting and what ingredients are in them. And so for me, I was stepping into this world of like label reading, and it was interesting to me as I came into the holistic health kind of biohacking world, where there were a lot of people who are like, I'm not going to drink alcohol anymore, and they loved all these mocktails. But then I'm like, wait a minute, those drinks are not good for you. Like just because they don't have alcohol doesn't mean they're good for you. And so with the Plant Magic shop, like I was like, clean products, like let's get out there and like really educate. And like you said, you're in this hub, you're in this space, there's a lot of, obviously the political world, that's ground zero there. And you're in a space that you have an opportunity that is like this beautiful opportunity to be able to share, to educate, to open the eyes of so many people, and not just, okay, yeah, like try all these products, don't drink alcohol, but why are we not drinking alcohol? What am I drinking instead? Why am I drinking that instead? Like what's my saying? There is no mindful drinking without mindful thinking. And so, yeah, it's just been really, really cool to do that with you.
And it's such a cool thing that we get to do because it's not a drink. It is an opportunity. And so being in the heart of, and heart chakra, my name meaning heart chakra, but being in the heart of America right now and the power centers, which is a connected force to the global outside world, and being in the heart of Union Market, it's such an honor to spend the time with people that come into the shop because they're curious, they want to learn, they're on their own journey of waking up, and they want to learn about beyond just a drink, but like spirituality. And so just each person that comes by, I get to carefully chat with them and sit with them about what's going on in their life, what their needs are, and how I can help them move in the right direction to freeing themselves from the matrix and any other bonds that they have that are keeping them not in a high vibrational place. So I just feel like it's such an honor and it's such an opportunity to really change the world and raise the vibration of the planet, which I get to do every day. So, we're open 7 days a week. We were just chatting earlier about this busy schedule and juggling things with my children, which as a conscious parent is always key to spending that quality time with them. But just this opportunity that I have to change people's lives I don't take it lightly.
I know that. I feel that. Anyone that is around you knows that and feels that, which makes me, we're talking about, what we're doing. But so I would love for you to share a little bit about your story with the audience, like why, what got you started here? How did you take those first initial steps into, like you said, breaking free of the matrix, like unlearning the program? Like what was the pivotal change point for you?
Yeah, and you know what is so funny? I'm so glad you're asking that question is because Plant Magic Bottle Shop, like I was reached out to the Edens and Union Market in November of 2024. So now here we are in 2025. I had always kind of like had this in the background or thoughts about it, but I never even thought that I was going to open a bottle shop. Like it wasn't like forefront of my mind. Like I was focused on my conscious parenting and my coaching business. So here we are, which is very exciting, but that just shows the life journey of manifestation and how God has a higher calling for you. And it's just about quieting the mind and listening to get into that right place. And so my journey is really a life journey, where I, for 20 years, worked in the fashion industry. I lived in London. I lived in Paris. I lived in New York. I was very much type A personality, living in my masculine, work, 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 work. Like there was no, New York is a city that never sleeps. So I was doing the opposite of what I'm telling people to do now. I was drinking heavily. I was partying like a rock star, flying on jets, going to the south of France, runway shows with Anna Wintour. completely different life, right? And I really awakened with the birth of my son, which was, unfortunate that I had an emergency C-section, but I really think that jolt and him being in the NICU and me almost dying and all of that kind of stuff really just woke me from the matrix and like shook me. Like, I was postpartum with him, that first year I didn't work. I left my career in fashion and I was really in a dark place of depression, really trying to uncover. And as you said, Jessa, like unlearn these things that I had been taught by my parents, by society, by my school of like, this is what life is. So I just went on a journey of uncovering, researching, going through spirituality. And with the birth of my daughter, I used essential oils. And I just remember even unlocking the first bottle and being like, plants are medicine. They are magic. Like what are we doing, people? Like, what's the pharmaceutical industry? Like, why are we not looking at plants and earth and nature as our guide? Which then I uncovered more things about Rockefeller and the systems of and institutions in America, which I don't need to go down that rabbit hole. I encourage everyone listening to do their own research. But the stories that we have been told, many of them are untrue and many of them don't serve us in the best way possible to be empowered, to create our own life, to be creative, to be an artist, to be a visionary. We are trained to be workers. That's what the education system in America does, is training us to be workers. So it's been a whole life journey. And I feel so lucky that I've been able to translate my life journey into a business where I can create a fortune for me and my family, but also into a business where I can just show up and serve and help people every day, which seems a little unreal that's like, oh, this is my job. This is my life. This is what I get to do. But yeah, it's just been a whole journey of my life that has led me to the shop.
I love that so much. And it's coming up for me, and I feel like this is something that we kind of need to tackle together. So you're talking about, your prior life, right? This fast paced, kind of glamorous life. And when you talk about that, the jets, the runways, Paris, London, New York, a lot of people are like, well, that sounds amazing, right? Like, I want that. But and now we're like, okay, now we're slowing down, we're being more intentional, we're recognizing that, there's a lot of things that are not true that we thought were true, right? We're waking up to um the generational patterns that are keeping so many of us stuck. And so I think it's really important to, like, yeah, like, I too went through a period of time where I was traveling, I was drinking, I was partying. And there's part of that that is glamorous, that is exciting, right? But let us also note that we were exhausted, that we were like living in fear a lot of times for different reasons. We there was like these moments, these high points of like exhilaration and excitement, but just as there were those really high points, there were ultra low, like down and dirty, just like I don't know who I am and what I want, what am I doing with my life moments. And so I think it's really important for us to kind of like, yeah, what you're seeing on Instagram, what you're seeing in the movies about these super glamorous, exciting, drunk lives, they may look from the outside like this amazing thing, but they leave us feeling so empty. And guess what? Now you feel so nourished. You feel so full. Your cup is overflowing, right?
Right. Yeah. And that's the thing. I don't want to say that my life before that I wasn't happy because I was having a great time. There's just a different level of depth that
Mhm.
is within my life right now. My relationship with my children, my relationship with my friends, colleagues, people in my life, in my partnership with my boyfriend, everything is deeper and more enriched and more vivid, if that's the right word to use in my life. It's, it's not like I wasn't happy in that life before, but it was much more shallow, and the depth just kind of wasn't there of seeing different dimensions and different levels of vibration, which I can just go to at these moments now with the knowledge that I have and the tools that I have. So, many of us have trauma in our lives. I would say all of us do. How do we cope with them and how do we deal with them? My tools were going out and drinking and like going, an ego tripping of like, oh, I'm at this runway show or I'm hanging out with this celebrity, and very ego and so as you were saying, Jessa, like it really lonely times and also just very sad moments. Whereas like, I'm not saying that I'm not sad now, but I have tools that I can deal with issues. Like there are so many things that I've had to deal with my divorce, with 2020 and COVID and like isolation and homeschooling my children, all of these things. But I have the tools now that I can deal with these issues in a very confident way. And that confidence is something that I want to give to everyone. I know it's something that everyone has to have their own life journey, but I can show them the door. Like I am in a place now where I'm, like Morpheus in the Matrix, where it's like they have to open the door, they have to walk through the door, but I have the tools that I can show people the door. Like that's so cool. Like I didn't have that ability to before, and I just feel very satisfied that I can do that and just just that energy of being like, that is my role. That is what I'm doing. And when you wake up every day with a mission and a role and a connection to God and clarity, what else can I ask for? Yes, I'm an entrepreneur. There's, issues like someone's calling out sick or like we need to order more stuff, but I'm at ease knowing that I'm in alignment with my mission.
That's that. I'm so glad you went there, and you're saying tools, right? And alcohol-free drinks are tools, just like our breath work, just like our meditation, just like yoga or somatic movement, whatever it is. Because what is it? It's a tool that helps you come in to the present moment, to slow down, to sip, to savor this thing, mindful drinking, mindful eating, mindful movement, mindfulness, like, because, your life experience, we all have these life experiences. We're here in this kind of human existence, and we're all doing the best that we can and moving forward with what we know, right? And we have to, in the, like, we want to live this experience as we're living it. And I think that's one of the things that, for me, when I think about, the past versions of myself and the life before that I've had, it's not like I don't have all of these amazing memories, but I also know that I wasn't truly present for a lot of them, right? And there's like this lack of memory, unfortunately, with so many things, that because I wasn't really engaged in the moment. And so now, like, every moment I have feels so rich, right? So it's like full of depth that I didn't have before, because I'm truly present. I'm breathing into my body, I'm breathing into my space. Like, I'm here fully with this conversation, and when I have, the right alcohol-free drinks, it's just a way to elevate the experience that I'm having, right? And that's my slogan with Untoxicated, is elevate the experience, because it's just like what we are really after when we're going out to the bars, the restaurants, to go hang out with our friends, to celebrate life. When we get that drink, that's what it is that we're after. We're looking for something that is going to just like make this moment even more special, even more, full. So, some of my favorite drinks are the ones that have like the most flavor, the most depth and complexity, and has aroma, and I can smell it, I can be with it. Like you do cacao ceremonies, right? So, and that's what we're asking people to do in these ceremonies, is like be with the drink, be with the cacao, smell it, swish it around in your mouth, taste it, truly taste it, feel as it rolls down into your body, into your belly, warms you from the inside out. And you can do that with with these drinks. They're ceremonial, which is so amazing. And we can go into like the plant magic part of this, right? The adaptogens, the nootropics, the minerals and the vitamins, and these things that are essential to our everyday health and will help us actually optimize the way we function and move in this life, right?
Well, I love that you're saying that because, and that's why at Plant Magic, what we're doing is focusing on adaptogenic beverages and functional beverages, or ones with adaptogens. I'm using all these words and I'm happy to explain them because people come into the shop and they're like, what's that? It's like,
Mm.
we can drink a vodka alternative or a vodka substitute, whatever we want, but to do a mocktail. But I think we've moved past that in this industry, where we really have an educated consumer that's reading the labels, as you said, and really is looking for functionality. So adaptogens are these vegetables that grow in harsh climates in Iceland, in Finland, or it could be a cactus growing in the desert, right? What we see from parch. Um, these adaptogenic beverages have functionality where they lower your stress and they increase your immunity. So people say to me, they're like, Jamie, what are some of the benefits of you not drinking alcohol? I'm like, well, I haven't been sick in 8 years. Like people, like we're told this story of like, it's cold and flu season. We see it all over our television. It's like we're being brainwashed into like, it's okay to work really hard and party really hard and whatever, and then get sick. It's like, let's be more like, let's not get sick and let's be restorative and let's be like preventative in our wellness, right? So people are like, you haven't been sick and you have small kids. I'm like, yes, because I'm using adaptogens, mushrooms, all of those things. I'm using functional beverages and I'm being intentional and mindful about the way that I'm drinking them. So that's where I really feel that we are with this newness in the non-alc space, and people coming into the shop, they're like, what does this do to me? What does that do to me? What are these? They're asking the question. So that the days of the vodka substitute, I think, are gone. We're really moving forward with these functional beverages, and they're like, am I going to feel something? It's like, yes, you might feel the vibe, as I like to say, of the plants and plant magic and plant medicine and all of these things. That's what the plants are there for, is to help us. They're our allies. They're there to support us. So it's beyond, and my tagline is, it's not just a mocktail, it's medicine. We're moving beyond a mocktail. Mocktails are great and we love them, but we want to improve our lives. We want real wellness, and ceremoniously, as we're like, ooh, we're at a bar, we're cheersing, we're celebrating something. We can ceremoniously drink these beverages that are actually impacting our health and our well-being. That's what the consumer wants.
I love that. Yes, because I started in this industry working at a bottle shop at Sachet, and I'm on King Street, where it's just like very brand new, it's 2021, and people are just starting to like, what do they've never even heard of it before, and they come in, and so many people are asking, what's the point, right? And it's like, okay, well, the experience, right? An elevated experience where you're not drinking alcohol, yeah. But I love the functional beverage industry specifically because it's like, oh, oh, let me tell you what the point is, because I can really, really dive into that. You know, let me tell you about the plants that are in this product and how they are truly going to benefit your life. They are going to lower your cortisol, boost your serotonin, sometimes give you a boost of dopamine. You can, I mean, you're literally going to feel better. These are amino acids that are naturally occurring and so necessary. Magnesium, potassium, like all of these, the minerals that our bodies are being depleted of. When I was a young mother, I think a lot of us have joked about like our kids just like bubbling and giggling and super, super happy and super energized. And I would say, man, I wish I could just bottle that energy. Well, guess what? They have. They have done that. And now we have like incredible access to something that we can not only like sip and savor and have this amazing celebratory social moment, but we also know that we're nourishing ourselves. And some of the products, like one of my favorites, Fada, is literally adding years to your life. This is longevity. This is like next level stuff. So yeah, let me tell you about the point.
Right. Exactly. And I love what you're touching on too, Jessa, about longevity, which is a huge industry. I was able to go to the biohacking conference last year, and I've met with Dave Asbury before. And like in Austin, it's like a big, big thing. I would say that's like actually the hub of it. We've been taught that our life expectancy is at a certain age. Oh, you're going to live to be like 80, maybe you'll live to be 90, and you'll be in a wheelchair and you'll be crotchety and you won't be able to travel and your life is basically going to suck, right? And you're going to have diabetes and you're going to have all of this stuff. Well, the longevity industry is saying that is a lie. This is a story that you've been told. And that's what happened back in the day when people were smoking heavily, drinking heavily, eating, all of these bad oils and all of this unorganic food. Now we are in the longevity space. I'm like, wake up, everybody. We can live to be naturally 120 years old if we take care of ourselves. We are eating organic, eating grass-fed beef, raw milk, doing cryotherapy, focusing on our functionality. I mean, Dr. Mark Hyman, which is a great functional medicine doctor, just released Function Health, where you can do all of your blood cells and they can tell you your actual living age. I'm like, everybody wake up. We're in the year of science, right? So we have to completely change our mindset about how long we're going to live. And when you do that, what's one of our biggest commodities? Time, money. So time. If we're going to live to be 120 and we're still going to be traveling the world, going to Paris and not in a wheelchair and crotchety with Alzheimer's and diabetes, wow, I've got my life back. I have freedom back. I'm not in fear. You just feel your chest expanding of like, wow. So it's like, if I'm going to live to be 120, well, I'm really young and like, I'm not middle aged. And I feel like, oh my God, I have a pep in my step. So we have a huge opportunity to educate people and to change the trajectory of their lives. It's not just a drink. It is literally waking people up and saying, no, that old story that you've been told from the 1950s no longer exists. You are free. You are free to live a beautiful, happy, healthy life. Wow. This is major. Like, we're so, so lucky.
And it's all about, it's rewriting the story. It's, like, think about what is in your life. What story have you been told? Right? Because there's all these stories that you have been told. If you just, I've talked in this podcast a lot about memoir writing, about shadow work, about what metacognition is, like paying attention to your thoughts. You are not your thoughts. Those thoughts have been programmed by what you have seen. Like our mirror neurons are, we are just emulating what we have seen, and we're moving forward, like I said, with what we know. So now we have this opportunity to educate ourselves. We are in the world of, technology and information where we have access to this. We have access to the information. We have access to the better quality products. We have access to, like you said, like getting rid of the fear. We do not have to live in this fear. We have been programmed to live in this fear. So,
And I will not do it anymore, and I will not do it for my children. That is the biggest point, and the whole reason why I'm doing what I'm doing is to educate now we are in my children are alpha. We are in the generation of beta. Guys, we have got to change the world. We have got to educate our children differently so that we can, if we want to create a better world, we have to pour into the children. We have to pour into the next generation and educate them. My children are 10 and 7, and they are well aware of what alcohol does to your body, your mind, and your spirit. They are completely aware of it. And they're making mocktails and they're having a great time and learning about plant medicine. So this is how we change the world, one moment at a time, by really sharing our story and really educating people of, you don't have to live in fear. You don't have to live in this old story. And like you said, we have access to the information now. To play that you don't know, or like, I'm not getting it. No, we have the internet, we have AI, like we're living in the moment of the Matrix right now. So I encourage, my words of wisdom to everyone listening to this is, read the labels, educate yourself, question the government, question the teachers, question where it's coming from, what's the motivation, because that's part of it too that we haven't really touched on, but question the motivation. And it's like, if you're looking at an institution that gains power and money from you being dulled and not the most vibrant version of yourself, question that. So that's where we are right now in the world of just take it all in, observe it all, question it all, and go with your own tuition of, what do you feel is right for you? What do you feel is right for the world? And really do that.
I'm so glad you're ending with that, because yes, the thing that what I say all the time, get curious, not judgmental. Get curious. Get curious. Like, just like, remember when you were a little kid and you went outside and you looked up at the stars and you're like, wow. Do that with your life every day. Do that with yourself every day. Get curious. Get curious about the things that you're doing, why you're doing them, your thoughts, what you're consuming, the conversations you're having, the story that you've been told. Just question it, and not everything is right. I remember I was in New Orleans dancing outside, and there was this big poster out on a lamppost that said, "Think that you might be wrong." And that was a decade ago now, and I still think about that every day almost, like, okay, what do I think I know that maybe I could get curious about, right? So
Totally. Working in this industry, which people is like, it's alternative, it's this alternative industry. Working in this industry, we have all faced an opportunity where we've been questioned and been brave enough to stand up and say, there's a reason why I'm doing this. There's a reason why I'm on this mission. There's a reason why I want to make the world a better place. And so I commend you, Jessa, for what you've done in the industry, what you're continuing to do, for putting your voice out there, and for really helping people. Like, that's what you're doing by being in this industry.
thank you, and thank you. I my heart is bursting with gratitude for you, and I cannot wait to see what magic this next year brings with the I am so excited for life, and it's so beautiful to be and to have, it's interesting, right, when you start moving in alignment and you start like gathering the right people, and I'm so glad that you're one of my right people.
Yeah,
I adore
thank
you
you.
so much. If anyone ever goes to DC, please look up the Plant Magic Bottle Shop. If you are interested in conscious parenting, she is the person to talk to. I I have, I'm a mother of three, and my son is going to be 18 this year, and it's just crazy. But I think back and what I wish I would have done differently and all of those things, but also just knowing that, okay, right now I can be more conscious. I can be, I can pay attention to my conversations with him now and all of those things. So it's like that is definitely a point, that we could dive into as well, but we'll leave
Well,
that
that's
for another
another one. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing that's interesting too about parenting, which is, I just am so connected to it,
time.
and non-alc business industry. It's just we don't know when we're going to wake up.
Mm,
And the only thing that we can do once we wake up is just take one step forward at a time. So I'm all, like I'm always like, oh, I wish I had done that. I wish I had done that. And get the lessons, get the nuggets of wisdom, which is great. But we do not know when we're going to wake up. The only thing that we can control is our destiny from the first step we take, right?
yes, 100%. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming into my circle. Thank you for sharing your why, sharing your story, having this conversation with me. You and I, we could just talk for days and days and days. I know that there's going to be so much more to come.
Yeah.
And yeah, thank you again.
Thank you. Yes. And everyone follow Sip Plant Magic on Instagram. Send us messages. We'd love to see you.
Yes, absolutely. And at Distill and Express, give us a little bit more, and I'll put everything about you in the show notes as well. Where can people find you?
Yeah, so I'm in Union Market, which is on 1309 Fifth Street, Northeast Washington, D.C. So I'm there. And then also follow along at Distill and Express to learn more just about me, and then Sip Plant Magic to more about the bottle shop.
Awesome. Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, friends. I am going to offer everyone one more big deep breath in. Exhale it out. Soften your shoulders, soften your jaw. Feel into the heart space. Bring in a smile, bring in some gratitude, some appreciation for this life, for this moment, for all of the lessons that we're learning, for this life experience. Thank you so much for being here in the circle with me today, and I will be back every Tuesday. I will see you next week.